Hello, good morning. Welcome to Song of the Week. This go around we'll be featuring Steve Talbert from the great state of Alabama. Steve will be doing a song that I wrote in 2019, the latter part of 2019, called Julio the Midnight Chef, based on a true story. Back when I worked with Norfolk Southern out of Atlanta, Georgia, I had some free time. So I looked in the paper at some part-time jobs, some things I could do on the side. And there was an ad for a radio station that was a local station in town that was popular. And I applied and I met with a couple of the DJs, female DJ to begin with, and she asked Julio to come and talk to me as well. And so there is actually a Julio the Midnight Chef radio disc jockey. And I worked with him, and I enjoyed working there. I got to sell commercials and make commercials on the radio. Miss Cutter helped me out some there, so we enjoyed doing that, and we went around and sold commercial airtime on the radio. And it was, like I said, a very popular station, and Julio was very popular and well known in the area. Everyone was familiar with him and knew his own real name, personal name, and he's a really nice guy. He's my age, and he did a wonderful job there at the radio station. He started off at night, and that's how he got the name of Julio the Midnight Chef. He was a night disc jockey, and so he came up with that handle, and it kind of stuck when he went to the morning show. And he did that for several years, and in fact the owner did think that he wanted a different format for the radio station, and they tried some weird funky rock and roll or something. I mean, you know, Miss Cutter and I like classic rock and roll, but this kind of went beyond that, and people turned it off. And so Julio was invited back, and they set up the original format of the old style country music, and it worked real well. And he's still at it, and everything is still up and operational there at Wmoq. And so Steve, it's a storytelling song, and it took a while to record it. It's over a 5-minute song, so I probably don't need to continue talking because I'm sure you want to get into that. But Steve, as he always does, did an exceptional job on it, and we believe that you'll enjoy Julio the Midnight Chef. Until next time, may God be with you. Appreciate you tuning in.
He received a standing ovation when he walked into the radio station. Here's the microphone, welcome aboard. He had some big shoes to fill, but we all felt like he would fit the bill. He sat down and promptly played Walking the Floor. He knew the audience yearned to hear that classic country from yesteryear, coming through the speakers on their radios. So he obliged them and played them all. Hank, Merle, and Brother Oswald. Called himself the Midnight Chef, Julio. Every county within range tuned in, and they all became fans of the station WMOQ. Because he refused to play what they call country nowadays. He played the old stuff that we all loved and knew. God bless Julio. Then he was promoted to the morning show, entertained early those on the go, and the ratings at the station continued to climb. But the honor come to him one day and said someone is willing to pay more to change the format. So Julio, thank you for your time. After a couple of months of rock and roll, and no more Julio on the radio, the audience abandoned WMOQ. The owner had to change his mind and called up Julio on the telephone line. Said, come back and play some country, everybody misses you. So Julio was back on the radio playing that country gold, and all the listeners began to tune back in. He was happy to be back behind the mic, waking people up in the morning light, playing what they all wanted to hear again. Sure, he had a lot of help with the show, but the reason people listened was Julio, and the station remained the same throughout the years. Julio, like a ringmaster every day, put on a good show and knew what to play, the kind of country everyone wanted to hear. He received a standing ovation when he walked into the radio station.